Imagine you're stepping away from your familiar room, leaving behind the noisy city, leaving even the surface of Earth itself. You rise higher and higher, drifting through the thin atmosphere, passing the last layers of cloud, until all the greens and all the lights shrink into a small glowing sphere floating in the dark. You keep going farther still, until Earth becomes no more than a quiet blue dot behind you. Ahead is the vast openness of space, a deep, endless ocean of night stretching in every direction. Around you, there are no car engines, no phone notifications, no loud conversations, no deadlines waiting to be met. There is only silence, an almost perfect silence, one that doesn't feel empty or frightening, but soft, as if the universe itself is gently helping everything settle. Against that velvety darkness, only a few tiny stars shimmer from impossibly far away, like faint pinpricks scattered across an infinite sheet of midnight fabric. You might have imagined the universe as overflowing with stars, planets, and galaxies, packed with shining things. But when scientists looked more closely, they discovered something surprising. Most of the universe is emptiness. The places full of stars and galaxies are just a sprinkling of dust in an enormous space that is almost entirely blank. The distance between stars is already immense, but the distance between galaxies is far, far greater. If you shrank a galaxy down to a single grain of sand, the space between two of those grains could stretch tens or even hundreds of meters across a dark, quiet desert. And between those galaxies lie regions that are almost completely empty. Astronomers call them voids, vast cosmic hollows. They've even found a supervoid, stretching about 1.8 billion light-years across, with almost no galaxies inside it. The number is so large that the human mind simply gives up trying to picture it. But you don't need to calculate anything. Just imagine a darkness so wide that even if you placed the entire Milky Way inside it, our galaxy would be nothing more than a lonely speck of dust. Now imagine yourself drifting along the edge of one of these places. On one side, faint silver swirls of distant galaxies shimmer like cities of light far, far away. On the other side, a depth of darkness with no stars, no shapes, no boundaries, just pure emptiness. A place so hollow that even light would need billions of years to cross it. In that setting, all the noise of everyday life simply melts away. Worries about money, work, arguments, sleepless nights, they all slide down the scale of importance, becoming softer and softer until they dissolve into the cosmic quiet. A gentle question may appear in your mind. How can a universe that is mostly empty give rise to vibrant worlds, glowing cities, and busy human lives, including yours? The answer is simple and beautiful. Matter makes up only a tiny fraction of the universe, yet that tiny fraction is enough to weave every story that exists. Just as a few lines of ink on a blank page can hold an entire novel, a few percent of delicate matter scattered through a sea of emptiness is enough to form stars, planets, and life. As you float through this space, you may notice that emptiness is not something to fear. It doesn't try to swallow you, it doesn't judge you, it doesn't demand anything from you. It simply holds everything, quietly allowing things to appear and fade. Stars are born, burn brightly, and go out. Galaxies merge, then drift apart. Planets form, then vanish. All of it unfolds against a patient and peaceful backdrop of empty space. The cosmic void is like a perfect black canvas, letting every burst of light shine for a moment, then gently withdraw. Your mind works in a similar way. Most of the time, you only notice the loud thoughts, the worries, the plans, the heavy memories. But if you look closely, there is always a tiny pause between two thoughts, a thin silence between two feelings. That is the void within you, the quiet inner space you rarely pay attention to. Right now, as you picture yourself floating in the universe, you may feel that inner quiet more clearly. It has no color, no shape, no words, yet it is incredibly soft. Let your breath slow to match the slow rhythm of the universe. With each inhale, imagine you are drawing the night sky gently into your chest. With each exhale, imagine your heavy thoughts and tired emotions dissolving into tiny dust-like particles, scattering into the vast dark around you. You don't have to force yourself to be positive. You don't have to fight negative feelings. Just let them drift away, like shooting stars that flare briefly and then disappear. When you sense the vastness and emptiness of the universe, you might feel small. But this smallness doesn't weaken you. It's a quiet reminder that you don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your problems are real, but they aren't the whole of reality. On the scale of the cosmos, they are ripples on an endless lake. You are allowed to rest, to let go, to breathe and acknowledge that you have done enough for today. At the same time, that smallness connects you to everything. You, Earth, the Sun, the faraway galaxies you'll never see with your own eyes. All of you are drifting through the same cosmic space. No borders, no boundaries, no walls. Just one shared backdrop. One quiet universe holding everything within its vastness. This emptiness does not separate. It embraces. You are not alone in it. Everything else is floating here with you. If you wish, you can ask quietly. In a universe made mostly of nothing, what meaning does my existence have? The answer doesn't need to be grand. Simply by being here, in this moment, capable of wondering about the universe and sensing its peaceful darkness, you are already something extraordinary. The universe doesn't need you to exist, and yet here you are, with the rare ability to notice it. In a way, you are the universe becoming aware of itself. Let that thought soften. No need to analyze it, no need to debate it. Just feel that in this vast emptiness, having a mind that can love, hurt, grow tired, and hope is something profoundly tender. The universe does not ask you to be perfect. It simply offers you a small place in its long story, and the quiet space around you is always ready to absorb any weariness you choose to release. And now, let your final thought be simple. In this wide, empty space, you are allowed to rest. No one is rushing you. No one is judging you. Only the quiet universe, patient and still, waiting for you to ease into calm. Let your mind drift a little lighter, and if sleep comes, let it wrap around you just as the gentle emptiness wraps around every star it holds. From the stillness you were drifting through, that endless velvety ocean of black, your view begins to widen. Those lonely points of light you saw earlier start to multiply, then merge into larger clusters like delicate patterns slowly emerging on an infinite dark canvas. From the solitude of a single spark, you're now entering a much grander picture, one where the universe is not only empty space, but a breathtaking structure woven from light, matter, and time itself. Let yourself drift gently into this cosmic tapestry, as if being lifted higher and higher to see the entire landscape of a vast universal web unfolding before you. Suspended in the quiet, you begin to notice that galaxies do not float alone, do not wander the darkness in isolation. They gather into enormous clusters, and those clusters connect to one another by faint threads of matter, subtle silver strands stretching hundreds of millions of light years across. Scientists call these strands filaments. the threads of the cosmic web, the largest known structure in all existence. You might imagine yourself gliding along one of these filaments. Beneath you lies an abyss of quiet space. Above, pale ribbons of light extend farther than your mind can follow. On either side sit brilliant galaxy clusters, each one containing hundreds of billions, even trillions of stars. Yet all of them seem tiny compared to the overwhelming scale of the cosmic design around you. It feels as if you've stumbled into a colossal spiderweb spun from starlight, stretched across the endless night. And you are just a small dust mote drifting along a silver thread, weightless, quiet, untouched by anything that could cling to you. If someone were to ask why the universe looks like this, the answer would be unexpectedly elegant, almost poetic. In its earliest moments, the universe was nearly uniform, like a soft mist spread evenly across all of space. But gravity, the invisible pull that all matter exerts, caused slightly denser regions to attract more matter, growing larger over time. These dense regions became galaxies and galaxy clusters. The thinner areas stretched out into the vast voids, the immense hollows where few galaxies ever formed. Together, they shaped a cosmic honeycomb, a giant framework built upon dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up most of the universe's gravitational structure. If galaxies are shining grains of dust, then the cosmic web is the luminous thread that binds each grain into one delicate, interconnected whole. No galaxy truly stands alone. Every one of them belongs to a thread, a knot, a structure far grander than itself. Looking at this web, you might feel the truth of something hinted at in ancient philosophies. Everything in the universe is connected, one way or another. A galaxy billions of light years away is still just a glowing bead on the same sprawling web that holds the Earth. As you drift deeper into this network, imagine each filament as a gentle stream of energy flowing through the universe. You cannot see dark matter, the main ingredient of these threads, but you can imagine it as an invisible atmosphere holding galaxies in place, providing the scaffolding for this entire cosmic structure. Dark matter is what keeps galaxies from flying apart when they spin too fast. It is like a quiet pair of hands supporting everything, allowing the universe to move gracefully through the ages. And between these dim filaments lie the great cosmic voids, vast regions of darkness nearly empty of everything. The contrast between the glowing clusters and the endless hollows makes the cosmic web feel like an enormous piece of abstract art. A painting not made by human hands, but shaped by the laws of nature themselves. And you may find yourself wondering, how did something so originally simple give rise to a structure this beautiful? How did tiny gravitational fluctuations weave a web larger than anything we can imagine? As you gaze at this network, you might feel small, but this smallness is not frightening. It's calming, because you begin to understand that you too are part of this web. Your body is made of atoms forged in stars, and those atoms were born from matter arranged according to this very cosmic structure. You are not outside the universe. You are woven into it. You are not lost. You are connected to everything from the nearest star to the most distant cluster of galaxies. This connection cannot be seen with the eye, but you can feel it when you let your mind drift in harmony with the universe's gentle flow. And in that drifting, a natural ease begins to spread through you. The tension, the loneliness, the tangled worries of daily life suddenly feel as light as dust. Next to the complexity of the cosmic web, those troubles shrink into something small and manageable, not dismissed, but released, because you don't have to carry everything alone. You are floating within a structure far greater than yourself, a structure where every element has its place, and where nothing struggles in isolation. If you listen closely, it's as if the cosmic web whispers that everything is connected, and in that connection, there is peace. You're not just someone listening to a story. You're part of the story. You are a tiny point of light on an endless filament, and that filament links you to trillions of galaxies, to structures beyond human imagination. The thought may awe you, but it may also comfort you, like resting inside a vast, steady net woven by the universe itself. And as you continue gliding through this glowing web, you might realize that the universe is not cold or empty in the way people fear. It has structure, rhythm, connection woven through every corner. It isn't careless. It crafts its delicate threads with surprising intention, upholding the greatest galaxies and the smallest grains of dust. And in that realization, your mind softens, your chest loosens, and a tranquility settles in, a kind of peace you rarely feel in the hurried world below. This is the quiet miracle. By looking at the structure of the universe, you begin to sense the structure of your own inner world. A web of thoughts, emotions, memories, sometimes tangled, yet always held together by subtle threads. And just like the universe, you can allow empty spaces to form between those thoughts. Places where the mind can breathe, can rest, can be still. Let the cosmic web continue expanding inside your imagination, spreading outward like a great blanket of light, then slowly dissolving into a gentle, soothing darkness. And if drowsiness begins to visit you, let it come, naturally, softly, because from emptiness to connection, from shadow to shining networks, the universe has been holding you in its vast embrace all along. From the faint, glowing threads of the cosmic web gently fading into soft darkness, dense clusters of galaxies begin to emerge, bright islands rising out of the ocean of space. And as you drift closer, each tiny spark in that web blossoms into swirling structures, elliptical forms, or chaotic star clouds, as if the sky itself were unfolding into countless shimmering worlds. Now, let your imagination carry you on a journey through the galaxies, those grand and radiant cosmic islands so vast that each one may contain hundreds of billions of stars, all slowly turning in the endless dark. From afar, a galaxy appears like a glowing disk, its starlight concentrated in the center and flowing outward into graceful, spiraling arms. As you glide past it, that light isn't harsh or blinding. It feels soft, almost like silk glowing gently from within, inviting you into a world more delicate than anything found on Earth. First, drift toward our home galaxy, the Milky Way. Picture yourself sliding along its plane, where hundreds of billions of stars blend into a wide silver band stretching across the sky. Seen from outside, the Milky Way unfurls like a majestic spiral disk, each rotation spanning hundreds of millions of years. But up close, it resembles a river of starlight, countless tiny sparks merging into soft, luminous patches. Clouds of glowing gas intertwine with dark lanes of cosmic dust, forming a landscape with infinite depth. Leaving the Milky Way behind, you move toward Andromeda, our largest neighboring galaxy, about 2.5 million light-years away. It appears as a soft, tilted smear of light, with long spiral arms extending gracefully into space. And then you notice something remarkable. The Milky Way and Andromeda are not drifting apart. They are moving toward one another at hundreds of kilometers per second. In a few billion years, these two galaxies will merge in a cosmic dance that unfolds impossibly slowly, spinning, passing through each other, and eventually blending into one new galaxy. In your imagination, watch as the two galaxies begin to touch. There's no explosion, no violent collision like we might picture. Instead, their halos swell, their stars ripple and swirl in movements so slow that humans could never witness them in real time. Stars almost never collide. Rather, they drift past one another like fireflies weaving through a vast, quiet forest. This is not chaos. It is choreography. A serene, majestic recreation of the universe, both powerful and peaceful. Leaving the local group of galaxies, you drift deeper into space and see that the Milky Way is just one galaxy among trillions. Thanks to the Hubble Space Telescope, scientists estimated that the observable universe holds roughly 2 trillion galaxies, 10 times more than we once believed. Each improvement in our telescopes seems to widen the universe before our eyes, as if it were whispering, "You've only seen the tiniest fraction of me." And then came the James Webb Space Telescope, peering through the universe in infrared light. With it, humanity discovered galaxies that formed extremely early, just after the Big Bang. One particular galaxy sent its light out when the universe was only 290 million years old. That means we are looking at a newborn galaxy, existing before most stars and planets we know ever formed. Its presence defies previous predictions, stirring a quiet wonder. Even in its earliest days, the universe already knew how to light itself. This galaxy is far larger and brighter than anyone expected, like a newborn arriving with the stature of a giant. It reminds us that the universe doesn't just follow rules. Sometimes it stretches beyond them, as if to reassure us that marvels still have their place in reality. Even if the numbers blur together, you can still feel the awe of looking into a sky overflowing with light. Imagine a galaxy turning slowly around you in silence. Each star glimmers like a tiny oil lamp flickering in a gentle breeze. Each spiral arm flows like a slow-moving silver river, and the entire galaxy feels like a colossal flower blooming in the darkness. When you look at these galaxies, smallness settles over you softly, not with fear, but with comfort. You realize that your worries and pressures take up only the smallest corner compared to the vast cosmic picture. This perspective doesn't deny sadness or hardship. It simply allows you to understand that you don't have to carry everything alone. The universe is so wide that you can set your burdens down whenever you need, letting your mind loosen like starlight drifting through the spiral arms. Because within every galaxy, across every glowing halo, there is a slow rhythm you are free to match. A rhythm that asks nothing of you, except to pause, to watch, to feel, to drift. You may notice that distant galaxies make no effort to impress. They simply exist, rotating, creating new stars, letting old stars fade. Life and death in a galaxy unfold gently, continuously, as steady as a breath. And once you understand this, you realize that you too have permission to live at your own pace. No rushing, no pressure to keep up with anything. If you drift through a region thick with galaxies, imagine the light of trillions of stars raining lightly over you like shimmering mist. Not scorching, not dazzling, but warm and tender, as if you were lying beneath a sky full of fireflies. That light reminds you that no matter how vast the universe is, it holds countless gentle beauties for anyone willing to pause and look. And as you continue gliding past dense galaxies and deep, dark regions, you may realize something beautifully simple. The universe is not trying to overwhelm you. It's trying to remind you that even in darkness, there are islands of light, turning patiently, faithfully. These galaxies endure for billions of years, witnessing the birth and fading of countless worlds, yet always keeping their quiet grace. If someday your heart feels heavy, think of a galaxy turning slowly in the night. It exists not to be admired, but because motion and light are its way of being. Its beauty comes from its patience, its gentleness. And remembering that, you may allow yourself to soften too. In this moment, as your mind floats among shimmering galaxies, the noise of life feels far away. Your breath deepens, your thoughts loosen, and peace spreads through you like light flowing along a distant spiral arm, slow, sweet, and steady, guiding you toward a deep, quiet rest, as if you were lying on a cloud of starlight drifting through the endless universe. From within the galaxies turning quietly like endless islands of light, a softer feeling begins to spread through the space around you, as if the cosmic picture is gently inviting you closer to the places where light is born. And as the galaxies drift slowly behind you, immense clouds begin to emerge, hazy, radiant, and alive, like dreamlike mists floating in the boundless dark. Imagine yourself drifting slowly into a nebula, a place where stars are born from the silence of gas and dust. As you enter, gentle colors bloom across the space around you. In some regions, a cool blue-violet glow shimmers like the breath of an ancient ocean. In others, warm pink light unfurls like petals blooming softly in the night. These clouds are never still. They swirl, press together, and flow like layers of mist dancing in a weightless dawn. And deep within them, young stars flicker faintly, fragile yet full of promise, like newborn hearts preparing for their very first beat. Let your mind settle into the Orion Nebula, a famous star-forming region about 1,300 light-years from Earth. In your imagination, you drift through delicate, wispy streams of gas glowing with a distinctive blue-violet light. The dust clouds here are thicker, curling into great shapes that look as solid as stone, yet fragile enough to dissolve at a touch. From within these folds, the light of young stars shines through, flickering like tiny lamps behind silk curtains. Every motion in the nebula creates no sound, yet everything feels peaceful, as though the universe itself is breathing slowly with you. If you drift deeper still, you may come across the pillars of creation, one of the most iconic sights photographed by the Hubble telescope and later by the James Webb Telescope. These columns of dust, each towering several light-years high, rise like enormous temples of vapor standing against the dark. Light from newborn stars behind them casts a soft outline along their edges, making them appear almost sacred, like a cosmic sanctuary carved from starlit mist. As you glide past, you may sense a profound silence, not the silence of emptiness, but of anticipation, the quiet before something magnificent, the birth of light. Nebulae are not only visually stunning, they are star factories. They are made of hydrogen, helium, and countless tiny grains of cosmic dust. When part of the cloud becomes dense enough, gravity begins pulling material inward. Slowly, steadily, the forming star grows heavier, grows warmer, until at last, it ignites. A star is born. Massive stars form quickly, blazing bright blue like cosmic flames. Smaller stars, like our sun, gather material quietly for millions of years before they glow. Each nebula holds thousands, even tens of thousands, of stars in various stages of their earliest lives. The Crab Nebula tells a different story. It is the remnant of a supernova recorded by ancient observers in the year 1054. In your mind, drift into this nebula. You'll see strands of orange, red, and green gas stretching outward like unraveling threads in a cosmic breeze. At the center, a rapidly spinning neutron star emits intense beams of radiation, like a lighthouse sweeping its beam across the darkness. This is the place where a star once died, but its death scattered heavy elements across space, seeding the raw materials for planets, biospheres, and eventually life itself. You might also visit the Rosette Nebula. Imagine a giant flower blooming in space. Its petals are vast clouds of gas illuminated from within by young stars. They glow with a warm rose hue, spreading softly through the darkness. It is an image that reminds you that gentleness exists even in a universe often described as cold. Each time people look at this nebula, they often think of tenderness, something the cosmos expresses in rare, unexpected ways. As you drift through these regions of gas and dust, you may notice that nebulae embody both stillness and movement. They are soft as fog, yet powerful as star-making engines. You might imagine yourself gliding along a stream of pale blue gas, then slowly entering a deeper violet region where newborn stars are quietly igniting. Their light is not harsh. It feels like a warm breath spreading gently through every cell of your body. Within this silence, you can understand the birth of light more deeply. A star does not form in noise. It forms in compression of quiet. No crashing, no explosion, only gravity slowly gathering everything closer. Only heat rising bit by bit. Only hydrogen nuclei beginning to fuse. Then comes the first spark of light. Small, modest, yet capable of shining for billions of years. Thinking about this, you may feel a soft sense of hope. From the darkest places, the most beautiful lights can be born. Let the scene of the nebula wrap around you like a vast blanket woven from color and glow. The blue-violet of Orion, the gold-orange of the Crab Nebula, the pink warmth of the Rosette. They blend into a slow, soothing symphony of color, gentle enough to calm any tired mind. Even if you close your eyes, you can still imagine yourself floating through the soft layers of gas, drifting on a river of stars where time is no longer something to chase but simply a quiet current you can relax into. And when you look at the larger picture, you'll see that the universe is not only emptiness and spinning galaxies. It is also an artist, painting surreal, luminous landscapes across hundreds of light years using nothing but gas and dust. Each nebula is a reminder that beauty doesn't come only from finished forms, but from the process of becoming. From the gentle chaos of gas and dust, from silent compression, from what seems shapeless, light is born. In this way, nebulae are symbols of rebirth. They remind you that beginnings can emerge from moments that look messy or unclear. And just like them, after your own tiring days, there are new lights waiting to form. These moments of quiet imagination are part of that process. A space for you to pause and remember that light never disappears. It simply waits for the right moment to shine again. Now, drifting through these magnificent cosmic clouds, you may feel your mind lighten, your breath deepen, and your tension dissolve like dust within a nebula. In the birthplace of stars, you can let yourself sink into this vast peace, preparing to step gently into the next part of your soothing journey across the universe. From the soft nebulae spread out like slow-breathing cosmic paintings, the tiny points of light inside them begin to stand out, like sparks just flickering to life within drifting mist. And as you drift closer to one of these glimmers, the nebula fades gently behind you, giving way to a new scene, one where light is no longer a promise, but a living flame. Imagine standing on the surface of a distant planet, where the sky holds not one sun, but two. On the horizon, two glowing spheres sink slowly downward, their orange-gold light merging and spreading into a warm carpet that blankets the planet's surface. The sky changes color in unhurried waves, from gold to rose to violet, forming a sunset impossible on Earth, yet perfectly natural in your imagination. The scene feels peaceful, as if every motion belongs to a world that moves with steady, gentle breaths. Or picture yourself floating in space, at a safe distance from a colossal star. Before you rises a radiant sphere, its orange flames unfolding like glowing ribbons, lifting, curling, sinking with a slow and mesmerizing grace. The light streaming from the star spreads outward in soft layers, so soothing that even after staring for a long time, your eyes feel calm. There is no roar, no crackle, only warmth drifting through the quiet. The star feels like a gentle hearth placed in the middle of endless night, a place of comfort, even across thousands of light years. From those colorful nebulae, stars are born in the simplest way. Gas and dust pulled inward by gravity, heating up until light bursts forth. When a star first forms, it often shines blue or white because its surface is scorching hot. These young stars are like newly born beings, brilliant, powerful, yet fragile in their earliest stages. Over time, they stabilize, entering the longest chapter of their lives. A steady burning phase, not too hot, not too cool, much like how our sun has supported life for 4.6 billion years. Small stars like the sun can live extraordinarily long lives. They spend most of their time fusing hydrogen into helium, releasing the gentle light we see each day. But eventually, the hydrogen runs low. The star begins to expand, its surface cooling and turning red. It becomes a red giant, magnificent and strange, like an enormous glowing ember filling the entire sky if you stood nearby. After this stage, the star releases its outer layers into space, leaving behind a dense, compact core, a white dwarf glowing faintly like a fading coal in the night. Larger stars face a very different fate. They shine far brighter, with intense blue light and scorching temperatures. But because they burn their fuel so quickly, their lives are short, sometimes only a few million years. When they reach the end, their cores collapse, and the outer layers explode in a supernova. These are the most dazzling explosions in the universe, bright enough to outshine an entire galaxy for a short time. The leftover core may become a rapidly spinning neutron star or a black hole, an object from which not even light can escape. These scientific ideas might sound complex, but you don't need to remember the details. You only need to feel that each star has a life cycle of its own, just like any living being. They are born from silence, blaze bright in youth, transform over time, and end in moments of astonishing beauty. This entire process unfolds quietly, slowly, under the patient watch of the universe. A gentle rhythm you can let your mind drift along whenever you look up at the night sky. And that sky always has more to share. In 2022, the Hubble Space Telescope discovered the most distant star ever detected, named Earendel. Its light traveled 12.9 billion years before reaching Earth. This means that when Earendel shone, the universe was still young, about 900 million years old. The James Webb Telescope later confirmed that this star was a bright blue star from the earliest cosmic era. When you look at Earendel's ancient light, you're glimpsing a past so distant that even humanity struggles to comprehend its scale. Or consider the story of Betelgeuse, the bright red star in Orion that startled the world when it dimmed in 2019. Many wondered if it was about to go supernova, creating one of the most spectacular sights humans could witness. But then Betelgeuse brightened again, and scientists discovered that a thick cloud of dust had simply drifted across its surface. The explosion didn't happen, but the moment reminded us that the sky is alive, always shifting, always holding mysteries that keep us looking up with curiosity. When you gaze at a star-filled night sky, imagine each star as a small candle lit in the infinite darkness. Billions of such candles, steady and patient, gently pushing back the void. And even when one candle goes out, its light keeps traveling for millions, even billions of years. It's a quiet reminder that every beautiful thing you create, a kind word, a moment of honesty, can travel far beyond the moment you live it. Thinking about the life cycle of stars, you may realize that change is natural. Nothing stays the same forever, not even stars that appear eternal. But change isn't something to fear. It's how the universe grows. In every moment, you too are changing. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but always moving forward. Let yourself sink into this understanding. Like the stars, you have bright seasons, quiet seasons, and times when you need rest to renew your strength. The universe doesn't judge. It simply shines, showing you that every life cycle, long or short, has its own meaning. In the warm glow of a slowly burning star before you, you can let your thoughts drift like a speck of stardust just released from a nebula. Each deep breath feels as though it's merging with the steady pulse of the cosmos, leaving you lighter, calmer, and ready to continue your gentle journey through the infinite sky. From the gentle glow of stars burning slowly in the quiet of space, a soft thought begins to rise. If every star is a flame, then around each of those flames must be worlds drifting in orbit, silently gathering light and weaving their own stories. And as your mind draws closer to those orbits, the universe opens a new chapter, one where starlight becomes sky, becomes landscape, becomes sunsets no one on Earth has ever seen. Imagine yourself drifting toward a distant planetary system, where space is no longer pure darkness, but illuminated by more than one sun. As you touch down on the surface of an unfamiliar exoplanet, the sky stretches overhead in a pale lavender hue, like a silk veil draped softly over the world. High above, a large sun bathes everything in a soft, golden glow, while a second sun near the horizon casts a warm red-orange light. Their colors blend seamlessly into one another, creating a gradient of warmth across the sky. On the opposite side, 4 massive moons rest in place like glowing marble stones, making the heavens feel deeper, wider, and stranger than anything Earth could ever offer. Far in the distance, faint bands of the galaxy drift across the sky like gentle streams of luminous mist. Together, they form a sunset found on no world in our solar system. You can feel that beauty as if it were a slow melody, each layer of light spreading softly across sand, across air, across your thoughts. And in the safety of this strange yet peaceful place, curiosity and calm coexist, like the universe whispering that there is still so much waiting for you to discover. From the familiar planets around our sun, science has expanded humanity's view to thousands of distant star systems. Our solar system has only 8 planets, each with its own character, history, and environment. But that is merely the surface of something far grander. Out there, thanks to telescopes like Kepler and TESS, humanity has confirmed more than 6,000 exoplanets, a milestone reached in 2025. And the list continues to grow every month, as if the universe were patiently revealing its secrets, one world at a time. Exoplanets come in forms so varied that imagination sometimes feels less creative than reality. Some worlds are gas giants larger than Jupiter, orbiting their stars in just a few days. On such planets, the sky might glow red, with scorching winds twisting into storms tens of thousands of kilometers long, storms that never rest. Other planets are small, rocky worlds like Earth, but orbit two suns, creating landscapes with double shadows, a beauty once reserved for science fiction. There are even planets with no star at all, wandering alone in the universe's darkness. They drift without purpose, without light, without sky, only blankets of cold gas holding on to the faint warmth within. At the opposite extreme, some planets burn so hot that their entire surface melts into oceans of lava, where volcanoes erupt endlessly and rivers of molten rock sweep across the ground in glowing red-orange currents. Some planets have clouds made of sapphire dust or glass crystals suspended in the air and scattering starlight into shimmering blue hues. None of these wonders are inventions. They have all been observed through telescopes and confirmed with real data. The universe is not just vast, it is more diverse than humanity ever anticipated. Each exoplanet is a testament to nature's creativity, as if the cosmos were experimenting with countless ways to form worlds, each one a unique expression of light, atmosphere, and structure. Among the most astonishing discoveries, the TRAPPIST-1 system stands out. About 40 light-years from Earth, this tiny star hosts 7 planets roughly the size of Earth. 3 of them lie within the habitable zone, temperatures potentially gentle enough for liquid water to exist. It was one of those rare moments when science and dream merged. For the first time, humanity found a small star with many Earth-sized planets circling it. Imagine that somewhere in a quiet corner of the galaxy, other Earths might exist. Worlds with soft-colored skies, winds drifting through unfamiliar valleys, and sunsets painted by the dim red glow of a cool star. We do not yet know whether life is out there, but imagining these worlds allows your mind to slip free from the weight of daily life. For a few moments, you can forget the noise, the exhaustion, and let your thoughts travel gently to a place where everything moves slower, softer. In this way, the universe becomes a space of healing. When you look toward the countless planets beyond, you can feel that you are not confined by the limits of everyday reality. You are not bound by stress, schedules, or pressure. You live in a universe where thousands of worlds spin quietly in silence, each world calm, unhurried, unchaotic. If stars represent life cycles, planets represent possibility. Each world is a different story waiting to be written, and in your imagination, you can step on any of them, look up at any sky without being limited by physics or time. That is the beauty of imagination. It lets you slip away from what is, so you can rest, breathe, and feel yourself drifting among the countless possibilities the universe has scattered across the night. As your thoughts glide from one world to another, a deep peace spreads through you, like the gentle flicker of a star's flame from earlier. Though every planet is different, they all revolve around light, the universe's source of life. And similarly, your mind can revolve gently around the soft, hopeful thoughts that appear when you see the bigger picture. The universe is in no hurry, and you don't have to be either. Let these distant skies hold you for a quiet moment. Allow yourself to feel that among countless worlds, you too have your place, small but meaningful, still but connected. And as you continue your journey, those exoplanets will keep turning, whispering that the universe has many gentle wonders left for you to explore, from the radiant, ever-changing planets where every sky feels like a different poem. Your mind begins to drift farther into the universe's dark, quiet regions, where even starlight fades. And as that darkness expands, a feeling both curious and calm begins to rise, as though you are approaching the boundary between what is known and what remains entirely mysterious. Imagine yourself floating in the deep quiet of space, where everything seems suspended in absolute stillness. Before you is not a planet or a star, but a region of perfect darkness, so black that even light cannot cross it. This is not ordinary night. It is a darkness so dense it feels like a doorway into nothingness itself. Around this void glows a soft ring of orange light, created by hot gas and dust swirling around an invisible center. They rotate slowly, steadily, like water circling a drain. Yet instead of sound, only silence surrounds you. This accretion disk emits a warm, ember-like glow. Streams of matter twist together, stretching into perfect arcs before disappearing into the dense black at the center. The scene is not frightening. In fact, it is strangely beautiful. Something in that slow, circular motion makes your mind feel as though it's moving with it, quieting, settling, as if time itself has softened. This is the edge of the event horizon, a line that nothing can cross and ever return, not even light. But in your imagination, you stand safely outside it, able to observe without being pulled in. The black hole appears like a hole punched into the fabric of space, a bottomless point that makes you want to keep looking, as though you are watching a void that knows how to breathe. A black hole forms when a massive star ends its life and collapses under its own weight. This star once shone brilliantly, once lit the skies of its planetary system, but when its fuel ran out, its core contracted and became so dense that no force could stop its complete collapse. The result is a region of space-time curved so intensely that every possible path leads inward. For the universe, this is ordinary. For humans, it is a mystery that never stops stirring wonder. There are many types of black holes. Stellar black holes are only the size of a small city, yet they contain several times the mass of the Sun. Meanwhile, at the centers of galaxies, supermassive black holes can be as large as entire planetary systems and weigh millions or billions of suns. The universe places them there like invisible hearts, keeping galaxies turning in graceful order for billions of years. Though we cannot see them directly, their presence is revealed in the glowing material that swirls around them, and in the way they bend every ray of light that passes near. In recent decades, our understanding of black holes has changed dramatically. In 2015, humanity heard the echo of two black holes merging for the first time. Gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space-time, traveled to Earth after more than 1 billion years, like the soft, fading ring of a cosmic bell struck long ago. It was the first time humanity had observed a phenomenon Einstein predicted a century earlier. Through it, we learned that black holes do not simply devour. They also send out waves that travel across the universe as they collide and unite. Then, in 2019, the world saw the first real image of a black hole. It was the shadow of a supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy M87, captured by a network of telescopes spread across the Earth, an Earth-sized virtual lens. The faint orange ring surrounding the darkness became iconic, a reminder that even the most mysterious objects can be understood when humans are patient and imaginative enough. The image stunned millions, not only with its beauty, but with what it proved: that human ingenuity can reach what once seemed impossible. Yet black holes still guard countless secrets. What happens inside them? Is information truly lost forever? Or does it persist in some form we cannot yet grasp? Could a black hole connect to somewhere else in the universe, or to another universe entirely? These questions have no final answers yet, but that uncertainty is part of their allure. Each mystery becomes a guiding star for human imagination, pulling the mind far beyond the boundaries of everyday life into the vast realm of what might be. You can see black holes as symbols of the unknown in your own life. There are moments when the future feels as dark and uncertain as an event horizon. But just as observing a black hole from a safe distance brings a strange sense of calm, looking at the unknown in your life with curiosity instead of fear can lead you to your own quiet clarity. A black hole is not the end of everything. It is a place where matter and light transform into something new, a point of change rather than destruction. As you let your mind follow the slow swirl of the accretion disk, you may feel time flowing differently, not fast, not slow, simply existing in a gentle stream. There is no demand, no pressure, only presence. The universe is vast enough that nothing needs to hurry. Even black holes wait patiently for billions of years to form, evolve, and eventually fade. And in that patience, you can find the stillness needed to release the chaos in your own mind. Imagine yourself gliding through this region of space, neither pulled in nor pushed away, simply existing, observing, feeling. Let the perfect darkness remind you that even within the deepest shadows, the universe still holds a subtle, peaceful beauty of its own. From the edge of the black hole, where light bends into soft, ribbon-like arcs, a strange feeling drifts outward, that even the deepest darkness is only one part of the universe's endless cycle of transformation. And as the image of the swirling gas disk blurs gently away, you begin to notice another light growing in the distance. Not the light of absorption, but the final flare before a star becomes something new. Imagine yourself floating in quiet space, at a safe distance from a massive star. This star is old, having nearly exhausted all its fuel. In the first moment, everything remains still, as though the universe itself is holding its breath. Then suddenly, a flash blooms, brighter than anything you've ever seen, brighter than a billion suns. It doesn't explode chaotically like fireworks on Earth. It opens slowly, deliberately, like a flower of fire unfolding its petals in the infinite dark. The light spreads in gentle layers, each with its own hue: deep red, rich violet, shimmering blue. You watch these expanding shells drift outward like colossal clouds, stretching across billions of kilometers, yet moving with a softness that feels almost weightless. And at the center, where the star's core has collapsed completely, a new object has taken shape. Much smaller, yet infinitely stranger and more mysterious. The supernova, the star's final burst of brilliance, begins to fade. But the fading carries no sadness. It feels like the final notes of a warm, low symphony giving way to a new melody. In science, a supernova is the violent death of a massive star. When the core can no longer resist its own gravity, it collapses rapidly, while the outer layers are flung into space in a burst so bright it can be seen millions of light years away. This explosion does not merely end a life. It creates new things. Here, neutron stars form, spheres so dense that a single teaspoon of their matter would weigh as much as a mountain range. A neutron star is only about 20 kilometers wide, yet contains several times the mass of the Sun. Imagine that, an object the size of a city with a density beyond human comprehension. Seen from afar, it emits steady beams of light, especially if it spins rapidly, in which case it is called a pulsar. These are like cosmic lighthouses, sending out rhythmic radio pulses, each one beating like a quiet heart deep within the darkness. Some pulsars spin incredibly fast, hundreds of times each second. If your ears could hear them, their signals would sound like a soft, repetitive tick, 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 echoing endlessly through space. And in your imagination, that sound blends with the background hum of the universe, as though you're listening to its heartbeat. Slow, steady, patient, perfectly in rhythm. In recent years, humanity has witnessed astonishing events involving these stars. In 2017, for the first time, two neutron stars merging were observed. Gravitational waves from the collision rippled to Earth and, almost simultaneously, telescopes captured the light from the explosion. It was the first moment in history when we could both hear and see the same cosmic event. Within that brief instant, heavy elements like gold and platinum were created, then thrown out into space, where they would one day become parts of planets, rocks, and even the jewelry humans wear. That thought makes everything feel intertwined. Every atom of gold on Earth was once debris from a neutron star collision billions of years ago. There is also the phenomenon of fast radio bursts, FRBs. These are millisecond-long signals arriving from billions of light-years away. When they were first discovered, they resembled mysterious knocks coming from the edge of the universe. Later, some FRBs were traced back to magnetars, a type of neutron star with a magnetic field so powerful it can distort atomic structure itself. The idea that something only a few dozen kilometers across can send out signals strong enough to travel billions of years through space is both overwhelming and awe-inspiring. And as you watch the supernova fade, you begin to understand that everything in the universe follows cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. A star dies to create new matter. A neutron star forms to send steady pulses into the darkness. The merger of two neutron stars creates gold and platinum. The universe repeats these cycles in silence, unhurried, without tragedy, simply as a natural rhythm of existence. There's a soft philosophy hidden in this. In life, events that feel like endings can sometimes be beginnings. One door closes so another can open. And just like a supernova, the most intense moments we experience may become the very things that nourish new growth later on. Perhaps that is why watching a supernova from afar doesn't inspire fear. Instead, it brings peace, like witnessing a natural cycle the universe has carried out since the dawn of time. Each drifting, multicolored cloud offers a quiet reminder that nothing stays the same forever. Everything transforms, and in that transformation lies the universe's beauty. Let the image of those red, violet, and blue clouds drift across your mind like thin veils of mist gliding across a night sky. Let the distant pulsar's rhythm merge with your breath, slow, steady, even. And as the explosion fades, leaving only gentle darkness, you may feel your own mind settling too. Lighter, calmer, as though you're floating through a universe that knows how to create new things from the ashes of the old. From the fading light of the supernova drifting into the distance, its multicolored clouds dissolving into darkness like ribbons of silk lifted by an invisible breeze, you begin to sense that after every burst of chaos and brilliance, the universe gently returns to its original quiet. And as the steady pulses of the neutron star grow faint, the space around you opens wide, soft as mist, like the whole universe is slowly shifting into a deeper state, guiding you toward a realm where most of its true nature cannot be seen with the eye. Imagine yourself floating in a smooth, velvety darkness. No more glowing supernova clouds. No fire from stars. Only a stillness as calm as a mirror-still lake at night. Yet even though you see nothing, you feel something surrounding you. Subtle, quiet, steady, like the gentle arms of the universe. This is dark matter. Far away, light from an ancient galaxy passes by. As it continues its journey, you notice it bending gently, like water flowing around an unseen stone. But there is no stone here. Space itself is curved by something invisible. Streams of dark matter threading through the cosmos, not shining, not reflecting, yet silently holding together every large structure. Picture dark matter as a colorless, scentless mist, so thin you could drift through it without any sensation, yet present everywhere. It holds galaxies together, embracing them like a vast skeletal frame that keeps every motion stable across billions of years. As you pass through these unseen regions, you may feel a quiet support beneath everything, as if the universe has not abandoned its galaxies to wander, but is carefully cradling them with hidden hands. Farther still, another force is at work, so subtle it is almost unnoticeable, yet so powerful it shapes the destiny of the entire cosmos. This is dark energy. Imagine it as a gentle wind, not blowing against your face, but slowly pushing galaxies farther from one another. No sound, no vibration, just a quiet expansion, like the sea rising softly with an invisible tide. Science knows that the universe is not built the way our eyes perceive it. Only 5% is familiar matter. The stars, planets, people, dust, trees, everything we have ever touched or understood. All the visible universe is merely the tip of a cosmic iceberg. About 27% is dark matter, non-luminous, yet gravitationally essential. And the remaining 68% is dark energy, an unknown form that causes space itself to expand faster and faster. If the universe were a loaf of rising bread, dark energy would be the yeast making it swell, gently pushing everything outward. Dark matter would be the pan holding its shape, preventing the galaxies from flying apart as they spin. In this moment, that simple picture feels like a soft reminder. Even the most complex ideas can become gentle and understandable when the mind is calm enough to receive them. Scientists are working tirelessly to understand these two mysterious components. They build particle accelerators to search for signs of dark matter. They create underground chambers waiting for a single invisible particle to tap a sensor. They map the distribution of dark matter by observing how passing light bends around it. And they study dark energy by measuring the brightness of supernovae billions of light years away, comparing the universe's expansion across cosmic time. Yet after decades of effort, the answers remain hidden. Dark matter does not shine, absorb, or reflect light. Dark energy is even more mysterious, acting like a force that fills space itself, yet leaving no direct trace. The only thing we truly know is that they are real, and together they make up 95% of the universe. And strangely, that reality brings a quiet beauty with it. To know that most of the cosmos is invisible invites a sense of humility, that what we understand is just a tiny fraction of what remains to be discovered. And that is perfectly all right. In this natural unknowing, we feel the aliveness of exploration. We do not need all the answers at once. We only need to keep observing, keep wondering, keep our minds open. Imagine drifting through this vast region, an ocean of night without waves, yet full of unseen forces lifting you gently. There is no light, but no fear. Even without sight, you can feel yourself held within something larger, held by gravity, by dark matter, by dark energy, by the quiet mysteries the universe offers to all who exist within it. In this calm, the unknown is not unsettling. It is something that lets you breathe more easily. If 95% of the universe is still uncharted, perhaps 95% of life is also made of things we have yet to understand, define, or touch. And rather than worry, we can learn to rest in that openness, floating on a night ocean with no visible shore, yet trusting the invisible waters that hold us. The universe is never truly empty. It is filled with things we cannot see, but that still shape everything, still guiding, still supporting, even when we do not notice. In the same way, life is full of quiet forces working behind us, carrying us, even when we cannot name them. And as you drift slowly through this invisible sea of dark matter and dark energy, your mind becomes light as vapor, peaceful as a night sky stretching wide beneath the faint glow of distant galaxies. An unseen but gentle place, where the universe whispers, "You do not have to know everything to be at peace. You only have to keep drifting from the invisible ocean of dark matter and dark energy, where everything moves in silence under forces we can't see." Your mind slowly returns to something more familiar, something within human reach. And as the mysterious haze of the universe drifts behind you, you begin to notice a soft, blue silhouette appearing ahead, a small but warm anchor in the vastness of space. Imagine yourself sitting inside a quiet spacecraft orbiting Earth. Beneath you is the round, blue planet, with soft white clouds drifting slowly across deep oceans. Everything glows gently under the sun, as if the planet were breathing in its own steady rhythm. From up here, there is no noise, no cities, no borders or divisions. There is only a blue sphere so beautiful it steals your breath, floating in an endless sea of darkness. The spacecraft moves slowly, carrying you into Earth's shadow and then back into the sun's glow, like unspooling a ribbon just to admire every pattern on it. After a while, the ship begins to leave orbit, drifting farther from the planet. Earth shrinks bit by bit, and the moon appears, its gray, level surface marked by ancient craters that seem to hold stories billions of years old. Together, the two worlds sit in perfect stillness, like small lanterns hanging over a dark ocean. You pass by the orbit of Mars, a soft, reddish point standing out against the velvet black. Up close, you can see long canyons, ancient volcanoes, and deep valleys. Mars has long carried humanity's hopes, and even now, that hasn't changed. Its presence is a reminder that every great journey starts with a dream that once felt impossibly fragile. Farther still is Jupiter, the giant, wrapped in swirling streaks of cloud. The great red spot, larger than Earth itself, rotates slowly like a pale red whirlpool made of storm and time. You feel its grandeur not through sound, but through the sheer scale of its gentle, painting-like patterns. Next to it, Saturn tilts gracefully, its wide rings spread out like bands of light dusted with gold. Each tiny grain of ice catches the sunlight, as if it were a drifting shard of glass moving through the night. The solar system unfolds before you like a living book, each page filled with decades of human effort and understanding. Ever since Neil Armstrong took that first step onto the moon in 1969, a moment that marked humanity's leap into the stars, we've never truly stopped. On the International Space Station, every 90 minutes astronauts witness a new sunrise. They live in a world without gravity, where objects float freely, and every experiment opens a new question about how life behaves beyond Earth. Our robotic explorers travel even farther than we do. Curiosity and perseverance roam the dusty surface of Mars, sending back image after image of its red terrain. Cassini spent 13 years dancing around Saturn, capturing photographs of its rings and icy moons that stunned the world with their beauty. And New Horizons journeyed billions of miles to capture the first close-up images of Pluto, a cold, quiet world where sunlight fades into a tiny star on the horizon. And then there are two extraordinary travelers, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. After more than 45 years, both spacecraft have crossed the boundary of the solar system. Voyager 1 is now the farthest human-made object in existence, drifting through interstellar space where the solar wind can no longer reach. On board, the golden record remains, a disk carrying Earth's sounds and images. Children laughing, rain falling, waves breaking, and music by Beethoven and Mozart. A simple greeting to any civilization that may one day find it. The thought of a human message floating among the stars brings a quiet, tender comfort, as if we've sent a small piece of our collective soul into the universe. While probes travel outward, humanity's eyes, our telescopes, have reached distances no spacecraft could. Launched in 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope has sent back images that moved the world. Glowing nebulae, galaxies like islands of light, and star clusters scattered like silver dust across a midnight sky. It opened a new doorway for both science and imagination. Then came the James Webb Space Telescope, its vast golden mirror unfolding like a flower in the cold of space. Webb peers through clouds of cosmic dust, observing the earliest galaxies and capturing light that has traveled for tens of billions of years. Thanks to Webb, we now know that some galaxies formed far earlier than we expected, that distant exoplanets show hints of complex atmospheres, that the pillars of creation in the Eagle Nebula are sharper, richer, and more intricate than we ever imagined. These discoveries remind us that though we are small, human curiosity can reach boundaries once thought impossible. When you look back on this journey, from the first footprints on the moon to spacecraft leaving the solar system, you see something very clear. Humanity does more than survive. We explore, we question, we advance. In a universe so vast it seems endless, we still find a way to understand a little more each day, as though tracing an ancient map drawn in starlight. And in this moment, as your imaginary spacecraft drifts through the familiar pathways of the solar system, a gentle pride may rise within you, a quiet sense that we are not only small and fragile, we are resilient, intelligent, and endlessly curious. And because of that, you can allow your shoulders to soften, your breath to slow, and your mind to drift outward, toward the distant reaches of space, where new adventures are still waiting. Calm, quiet, and full of wonder, like the night sky you look up at before you fall asleep. As the imaginary spacecraft carries us past the radiant milestones of humanity's journey into the cosmos, from the first footprints on the moon to the faint signals that Voyager now whispers from the edge of our star system, a strange, settling peace spreads outward like a gentle wave. And from within that peace, a quiet question surfaces. If we have already come this far, then tomorrow, could we go even farther, beyond the limits our imagination once drew for us? Imagine stepping into a spacecraft of the next century, where technology no longer stands as a barrier, but becomes a pair of delicate wings lifting humanity through the stars. The cabin is almost transparent, allowing you to see every point of light outside, as though you were sitting in the middle of a boundless sea of stars. The space around you is so calm, so weightless, that you can't tell whether the ship is moving or standing still. Only when the stars behind you begin to bend into soft, curved trails do you realize the vessel is accelerating, light as a breath, smooth as wind gliding across a still lake. Outside the window, space appears to warp. The stars stretch into silver threads, then dissolve into the darkness like drifting flecks of glitter. The scene carries the imprint of ancient dreams, the dream of crossing the immense distances between stars, the dream generations of humans whispered to the night sky. Even if this is purely imagined, the vision sends a soothing warmth through every cell, as though the universe itself is inviting you to go farther, see more, understand more deeply. The idea of traveling faster than light once lived only in movies, yet science has never fully dismissed it. In 1994, Miguel Alcubierre proposed a theoretical model for bending space, a warp drive. The idea sounded impossible. The ship wouldn't outrun light. Instead, space in front of it would compress, while space behind it expanded, creating a bubble that carried the vessel forward like a surfer riding a wave. Then, in 2021, Harold White's team unexpectedly created a nanoscale structure, suggesting that a tiny warp bubble might exist in a laboratory setting. It is still unimaginably far from true interstellar travel, but even so, it glows like a small spark, just bright enough for humanity to quietly hope. But warp is not the only dream. One of the boldest concepts is breakthrough starshot, an idea to send ultra-small spacecraft, light as butterfly wings, propelled by powerful lasers to reach 20% the speed of light. These ships would carry no astronauts, only miniature processors and tiny cameras. Yet if successful, they could reach the Alpha Centauri system, our nearest neighboring star, within just 20 years. Picture hundreds of lasers on Earth converging onto a delicate, ultra-thin sail, pushing the craft forward like a speck of luminous dust. The project is still in its research phase, but even imagining it makes the mind feel light, as though you're gliding along an invisible path of starlight. And then there are ideas with the breadth of cosmic fairy tales. Generational starships, where people live, love, raise children, and pass on, while the next generation continues a voyage spanning centuries. On such ships, space becomes home, the starry sky becomes a window, and human history continues to be written between the stars. There are hibernation technologies, concepts in which astronauts sleep through the long journey, waking up on another world like characters emerging from a dream. And still more are theories about wormholes, shortcuts through space-time that might carry a ship from one galaxy to another in an instant. There is no proof they exist or could ever be stable, but the idea feels like a hidden doorway somewhere in the universe's shadows, quietly waiting to be discovered. The future of space travel may not arrive tomorrow, or even in the next century, but imagining it is deeply human. It's like making a wish on a meteor streaking across the night. Not because we believe every wish will come true, but because it feels comforting to know we're allowed to dream. Even when life is heavy and full of demands, these visions of tomorrow can open a wide, boundless sky within the mind, free of pressure, free of urgency, filled only with the soft drifting between stars. And as that imaginary spacecraft continues to glide silently through space, a delicate sense of hope warms from within. It may take a very long time before humans reach another star system, but right now, simply having the ability to dream of it is the most beautiful part. From the first steps on the moon to bold ideas of warp drives, our journey of discovery has always begun with a simple question. What if? If one day our descendants travel between galaxies, perhaps they will look back on our era with gratitude, because today is when the first sparks of hope were lit. And as you think about that, you can let your mind soften, light as a drifting cloud, allowing the dream to float farther and farther away, like the ship leaving long, gentle trails of light in the darkness. In that moment, the universe no longer feels distant. It becomes a kind companion, listening to your breath and inviting you into a tender dream of journeys yet to come. As the starship of the future drifts quietly out of the curved streaks of warp space and returns to a softer, slower motion, a warm calm spreads through you like a gentle current. And in that restful moment, you begin to wonder, even if one day humanity reaches the farthest stars, will we ever truly uncover all the secrets of the universe? Imagine a thin veil of mist appearing before you, suspended in the depths of space. It isn't there to hide anything. Instead, it hangs like a delicate curtain over stories science has not yet fully revealed. It floats slowly, softly, without the slightest sense of threat, more like an invitation to step closer, look more carefully, and let your mind relax into the quiet beauty of the unknown. This is the boundary of knowledge, the place where every theory, every mathematical model, every modern telescope comes to a stop. Not because the universe is keeping secrets, but because we are still too young to understand its language fully. Each great question is like a musical note yet unwritten, hovering in the open air, awaiting a future melody to complete it. One of those questions lies at the beginning of everything. How did the Big Bang truly start? We know the universe expanded from an extremely hot and dense state, but what came before that? Did anything come before, or did time itself begin at that moment? This question is like a door opening into an invisible room. We know the door exists, but we have no idea where the key might be. Then comes the question of the universe's fate. Will space continue expanding forever, growing colder as every last star eventually dies? Or could the universe one day slow down and fall back inward, returning to its starting point? The most widely accepted idea for now is the Big Freeze, a future where the final light fades, leaving eternal darkness behind. But that would occur tens of billions of years from now, so far away that every worry of human life becomes small and weightless, scattered like stardust. Another mystery that stirs both curiosity and emotion is the question of life beyond Earth. In this vast ocean of galaxies, might there be another world with water, with atmosphere, with just the right glow for life to take root? Despite decades of searching, we have heard no clear reply, no radio signal, no confirmed complex organic traces, no direct evidence. Yet it is that silence itself that forms the universe's whisper. Keep searching. This question will speak more loudly in the next section. But here, it stands like a lone star shimmering in the dark, urging us to pause and think. The multiverse hypothesis is another strange doorway. Perhaps our universe is just one bubble in an endless sea of bubbles, each bubble with its own physical laws, its own history, its own timeline. The idea is as beautiful as a scientific fairy tale, suggesting that there may be parallel realms where every possibility has already unfolded, even if we can never touch them. And when we look at black holes, those absolute points of darkness in space, we wonder what truly happens inside. Do black holes destroy all information that falls into them? Or does the information survive in some shape we do not yet understand? Could a black hole be a gateway into another universe? Or is it the place where the laws of physics as we know them fall silent, giving way to rules not yet discovered? Black holes stand like sealed pages in a book, pulling us toward them with both awe and humility. There are mysteries arising from recent discoveries as well. In 2023, astronomers detected signs of a background gravitational wave permeating the entire universe, like a deep cosmic symphony born from countless supermassive black holes merging over billions of years. Gravitational waves subtly bend the fabric of space-time, and by observing tiny shifts in the rhythm of pulsars, scientists measured these ripples. It feels like sensing the heartbeat of the universe itself, slow, profound, echoing across billions of light years. The James Webb Space Telescope has also raised new questions. Why are some early galaxies so much larger and brighter than predictions allowed? Could it mean our classic models of galaxy formation need revision? These galaxies that exceed expectation are like birds flying faster than the wind, pushing us to re-examine what we thought we understood. Each mystery, each great question, contributes to the indescribable beauty of the universe. Not the beauty of perfection, but the beauty of incompleteness. It is precisely the unknown that makes us want to look up at the sky every night. It is the empty spaces in our knowledge that give the mind room to wonder, to question, to dream. Let yourself stand before that soft veil of mist with a long, slow breath. Feel that you do not need all the answers. You do not need to understand the entire universe to find peace. Instead, you only need to know that the cosmos is larger than anything you have ever imagined, and somehow, that vastness brings its own quiet comfort. A scientist once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious," and it's true. The darkness of the universe is not a wall blocking our way, but a velvet curtain where every hidden piece rests like an unawakened gem. As you stand before the mist that symbolizes all we have yet to understand, feel as light as a person standing beside a silent ocean. You may not see the bottom, but you know the water is holding you with the gentleness of the infinite. And in that moment, you can smile inwardly, knowing the universe does not need you to comprehend it completely in order to lull you into restful sleep. It only asks that you accept that you are standing inside an endless story, and that each breath you take is already a small part of that story. As the unsolved mysteries of the universe continue to float like a thin mist in space, we suddenly realize that the farther we look outward, the more we long to understand our own place in this vast story. And when the mind drifts softly through all those unanswered questions, our gaze naturally returns to the most familiar place of all, the tiny point of light we call home. Imagine yourself standing somewhere very far away, perhaps on the orbit of a ship at the edge of the solar system, or even on one of Saturn's icy moons, where the planet's shimmering rings turn in perfect silence around the giant of gas. From that vantage point, you turn back toward the sun. Pale golden light spreads across the deep darkness, and right there, along the path of a fragile ray of sunlight, Earth appears as a tiny blue dot, so small that if you didn't know where to look, you might not notice it at all. Just a faint speck in an endless black ocean, existing quietly, so delicate it makes you want to breathe more gently, as if a deeper breath might disturb it. That is the pale blue dot image Voyager 1 captured in 1990. At the time, Voyager was nearly 6 billion kilometers away. Carl Sagan persuaded NASA to turn the spacecraft's camera back toward Earth one last time before shutting it down. No one expected that photograph to become one of the most powerful symbols of humanity's place in the cosmos. The Earth, so large and complex to us, appears from that distance as less than a single pixel, suspended inside a faint sunbeam, a nearly insignificant dot in the vast darkness, yet containing the entire human story. Let that image drift softly into your mind. On that tiny blue speck lies everything you have ever known, ever loved, ever feared, ever hoped for. Every civilization, every war, every song, every promise, every gentle moment, and every deepest sorrow. Everything exists on that little dust mote. At first, the thought might overwhelm you, but then it settles into something else entirely. A feeling of being released from the weight of small concerns. Because from that distance, every conflict, every worry, every tangled thought shrinks down to something so tiny it almost disappears. Not because those things are unimportant to you, but because you suddenly see that in the landscape of the universe, they are just ripples on the surface of a lake. If the Earth itself is only a single point of light, then the anxieties you carry are truly much lighter than they feel. You can set them down, let them dissolve into the soft black backdrop of space, and watch them fade like breath in the wind. But this smallness does not make us hopeless. In fact, it offers a beautiful kind of humility. We begin to see that all of us, billions of people, are living together on the same fragile blue speck. From far away, there are no borders, no hatred, no division. Only one glowing dot protecting life in a sea of darkness, like a floating jewel in the universe. That fragility makes you want to love the planet more and love the people on it more, because all of us share the same little place, the same little story. Carl Sagan once said, "Look again at that dot. That's home. That's us." When you hear those words while in a state of deep relaxation, your heart may give a soft, quiet tremble. Not urgent, not dramatic, just a gentle agreement whispered back to the universe. Yes, we are small, but that smallness is exactly what makes us precious. Imagine again, you stand in the darkness of space, watching that blue dot hang in the vast black. The stars around you are silent, no motion, no sound. The stillness makes you feel the calm rising inside yourself, as though by looking at that tiny blue world, every worry inside you shrinks, folding in on itself, growing smaller and smaller, until all that remains are drifting particles in space. You don't push them away. You simply observe them softly and let them float off where they need to go. And if Earth is that small in the universe, then you, a single human living upon it, are even smaller. But here is the miracle. Instead of feeling meaningless, you feel free. Free from pressure, from expectations, from the weight of the things that keep you awake at night. The vast universe does not ask you to be strong all the time. It does not require you to solve everything. It only whispers, "You are a very small part of something very large, and that is completely okay." As that idea sinks in, you may feel a warm ease flowing downward through you. You understand that the world does not need you to hold everything together. Earth keeps turning. The stars keep shining. The universe continues its story, whether you are worrying or breathing deeply and letting go. Allow yourself to become lighter. Let your heart settle, and let that tiny blue dot become a reminder that you do not have to carry everything with you. Earth is small, but it is that smallness that makes it precious. And you, though just an even smaller point upon that blue dot, are still part of a vast universe. A part worthy of love, worthy of being heard, and worthy of resting in the peace of this moment. As the tiny blue dot still hovers in the infinite darkness, a gentle feeling spreads through you, as if the universe is whispering that this fragility is only one part of a much larger story. And as you continue gazing quietly at that small point of light, a tender thought rises. If this planet becomes so small when viewed from afar, then perhaps the things that make up us carry an even longer, deeper, more ancient story. Imagine yourself slowly drifting closer to Earth. The faint blue dot begins to bloom, growing into a turquoise gem floating in the dark. White clouds swirl across it like soft brushstrokes on a vast canvas. The deep oceans shimmer with the color of life. Continents stretch across the surface like calm strokes of brown and green along the planet's long timeline. Everything turns quietly, not hurried, not loud, like the long, slow breath of the universe. Then, in a moment of imagination, Earth fades, dissolving into light, and in its place appears your own body, still, gentle, as though you too are part of the planet. You float through space, weightless, unburdened, and from your skin, your hair, your breath, your cells, small rays of light begin to glow. Not bright, just a soft shimmer, like stardust settling lovingly onto the still surface of your inner world. Now notice that these rays of light are not merely a dream. They echo a beautiful scientific truth. You are made of stardust. All the heavy elements in your body, the carbon in every cell, the oxygen you breathe each second, the calcium forming your bones, the iron and hemoglobin that carries oxygen through your blood, were forged in the hearts of ancient stars. When the universe was born, it held only hydrogen and helium, the lightest elements. Hundreds of millions of years had to pass before the first stars lit up, burning those elements in their nuclear cores. Inside those stars, atoms were pressed together, fused into new elements: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. And when those stars died in brilliant supernova explosions, they cast those elements outward, scattering golden dust of life across the universe. That stardust came together to form the sun, the planets, and eventually the Earth. On Earth, those elements merged into oceans, into air, into soil, into living creatures. And then one day, they became you. This is not just science. It is a cosmic poem written in atoms. You can imagine your star parents, those ancient stellar ancestors, leaving in you a trace of their light, their warmth, and their history across billions of years. Picture yourself taking a slow, deep breath in this relaxed state. The oxygen atom you inhale may once have passed through the lungs of a creature millions of years ago, or been released from a distant supernova long before Earth existed. You breathe out, and that atom returns to the world, continuing its endless journey through the universe. Each time your heart beats, the iron in your blood, born in a stellar explosion, reminds you that you carry the rhythm of the universe within you. In this moment, let yourself feel that you have never been alone, not on Earth nor under the night sky. You do not merely observe the universe from the outside. You are part of it, built from the same materials as galaxies, nebulae, planets, and every other form of life. Even the people you meet, those you love, those who have hurt you, and even the strangers you pass, are all stardust too. Each one carries the universe's story in every cell. As you realize this, you may feel your heart warm, as if wrapped in a soft blanket. This connection needs no words. It is quiet, deep, like a thread of light linking you to everything around you. Suddenly, the small worries that once weighed on you feel lighter, because you understand that you are not just living a personal life. You are carrying the legacy of stars that died billions of years ago. Whether you are joyful or sorrowful, thriving or struggling, you are still woven into this vast cosmic story. And then let this thought drift over you. Someday, when your body dissolves back into Earth, into wind, into ocean, those atoms will continue their journey. They will not disappear. They will move on, merge with the world, and one day might become part of someone else, or a flower, or even a distant planet in the far future. That idea is not sad. It feels like a lullaby. You belong to the universe, and the universe belongs to you. So whether you lie there in imagination or on your real bed, know that you are made of the most beautiful materials the universe has ever created. You shine in your own quiet way. You carry within you the age of billions of years and the rebirth of countless generations of stars. And simply by existing, no matter how small you feel, you are living proof that the universe has always known how to create something miraculous. Let that thought become a soft blanket, wrapping you in the vast, gentle embrace of the cosmos, guiding your spirit into a peaceful, deep stillness, where the light within you mingles with the light of distant stars. As the idea that our bodies are made of stardust still echoes softly in the mind, another question rises like a quiet breeze sweeping through the night. If we carry traces of the universe within us, then out there, might there be other beings who carry their own stars too? And as you let that thought drift along the current of imagination, you enter a new space, a space of waiting, of gentle hope, of the timeless question: are we alone in the universe? Imagine yourself sitting in the observation bay of a spacecraft. All the lights inside are turned off, and only the stars shine through the window. Millions of tiny sparks whispering something ancient and distant. The sky is no longer the familiar sky you see from Earth. It is a bottomless ocean where each star floats like a solitary island. You sit quietly, relaxed, listening to the silence. There is no sound except your own breath and the soft rhythm of your heartbeat, steady as a lullaby. Then suddenly, in your headset, a faint sound appears, a slow, steady beep. It lasts a few seconds, then fades, then returns again, like the heartbeat of something alive and very far away. You don't rush to explain it. You simply listen. The signal could come from a distant planet, from a flaring red dwarf star, or from a civilization sending out a message into space. Perhaps they too are hoping to find someone to talk to. A quiet thrill stirs inside you, but it's wrapped in a soft calm that makes you feel safe in this moment. Let this scene guide you into humanity's long search for life beyond Earth. We've discovered more than 6,000 exoplanets, and many of them lie within the habitable zone, the region where liquid water could exist. These worlds are so varied that words can barely capture them. Planets with two suns like illustrations from science fiction. Planets that are entirely ocean. Planets tinted purple by the photosynthesis of alien microbes. Icy worlds orbiting silent red dwarf stars. A few, like the planets of the TRAPPIST-1 system, have drawn intense scientific interest for their Earth-like size and potential surface conditions. And yet, despite how promising these worlds are, we still haven't found definitive signs of life. The SETI project, a vast network of radio telescopes, has listened to the sky for decades in search of artificial signals. So far, everything remains silent. No messages, no sounds, no cosmic phone call, just a vast, gentle quiet. But that silence isn't frightening. It is simply a blank page. The universe is so enormous that even if signals do exist, they may take thousands of years to travel from one end to the other. Or perhaps extraterrestrial beings don't use radio waves at all. Or perhaps they exist in a form entirely different from what we imagine. There have been moments of deep curiosity. The WOW signal in 1977 lasted 72 seconds, unusually strong and coming from a part of the sky with no nearby stars. To this day, it remains a mystery. Then came the detection of phosphine in Venus's atmosphere in 2020, a molecule considered by some to hint at possible microbial life. Though still debated, it reminds us that life, if it exists, may appear in places we least expect. Meteorites containing amino acids, organic molecules drifting through interstellar gas clouds. These small clues suggest that the building blocks of life might be far more widespread than we once believed. And amid these clues, a gentle existential question emerges. If the universe truly is silent, what does that silence say about us? Could Earth be the only oasis of life? This idea carries two sides, one that feels lonely and another that makes the life on our planet more sacred than ever. Because if we are the only ones, then our responsibility to ourselves and to our world becomes even greater. But if we are not alone, if somewhere out there, other eyes are also watching the sky and wondering like we do, then that thought brings a tender kind of comfort. You might quietly ask yourself, if there is someone out there, what might they look like? Do they feel love, worry, hope, sadness the way we do? Do they have a night sky to gaze upon, an ocean to listen to, a fire to gather around during long evenings? And if they truly exist, might they also be curious about us, about our tiny blue dot, just as we are curious about them? Carl Sagan once said that humans are the universe trying to understand itself, meaning that, in the moment you look up at the sky, the universe is looking at itself through your eyes. Whether life exists elsewhere or not, your meaning does not change. You are still the result of billions of years of evolution, of billions of stars exploding to create the elements within you. You are an expression of life, something so rare we haven't yet found a second example anywhere in the cosmos. As this section comes to a close, let your mind become as still as the distant sky. Whether humanity is alone or not, you are not alone. You have this earth, you have the people you love, and you have the stars outside your window each night. Quiet companions that have been shining long before you were born and will shine long after you rest. And somewhere, on a faraway planet, perhaps someone is also looking toward your direction, wondering if they too have a quiet friend across the void. With that thought, your heart may feel warm, lighter, and ready to drift into sleep with a soft, peaceful smile in your soul. As the question of life beyond Earth continues to echo like a distant call in your mind, you realize that sometimes the answer isn't what matters. It's the quiet peace you find along the journey. And in the stillness of listening to the universe, you understand that another kind of voyage is waiting for you. Lighter, deeper, one that requires no spacecraft, no technology, only the gentle release of your own mind. Now, allow yourself to enter a space meant entirely for relaxation. No more scientific facts, no more grand questions, only your soft presence resting beneath an endless sky. Imagine your body lying peacefully on your bed, slowly becoming weightless, as though you're floating in a transparent starship. This vessel doesn't shake or hum. It simply carries you silently upward, through the soft, white layers of cloud, and into the star-speckled darkness. Earth begins to shrink beneath you. Cities become faint points of light, then disappear entirely as you rise higher. The blue of the oceans softens, giving way to a deep sapphire sphere suspended in darkness. You don't feel distant. Instead, you feel held. Your mind's starship glides slowly, light as breath, carrying you toward the moon. Its pale gray surface appears, serene, quiet, a place untouched by noise. You drift past it without landing, allowing its silence to seep gently into every part of you. You continue toward the familiar planets of our solar system. Mars glows softly orange-red, like the remaining ember of a great fire. Jupiter emerges with its swirling bands of cloud, a cosmic painting that is never still. The great red spot rotates slowly, rhythmically, a reminder that even turmoil becomes beautiful when viewed from far enough away. You pass Saturn, admiring its perfect rings, shimmering like millions of tiny crystals circling a giant dancer. Each scene feels familiar, yet new. You don't study these places. You simply feel them, the way you feel a soft breeze on your cheek or the distant sound of ocean waves. Your starship drifts beyond the solar system, where the sun becomes just another bright star among millions. You are not afraid of the darkness. This darkness feels like the universe's velvet blanket, wrapping you in deep, quiet comfort. Now you travel toward places you've only heard described before. Galaxies spiraling like silken ribbons, nebulae glowing in soothing blues, purples and reds like dreamlike clouds painted in light. You drift through the Orion Nebula again, but this time no knowledge intrudes, only color, drifting into your eyes like drops of honey from the cosmos. You glide past the pillars of creation, those towering columns of gas and dust rising like the universe's own hands, cradling the stars yet to be born. Everything moves slowly, so slowly, as though time itself is meditating with you. Then you drift beyond the Milky Way. Looking back, you see our entire galaxy swirling like a massive luminous flower. You feel small, but not lost. You belong to this place, just as this place belongs to you. Your starship continues outward into intergalactic space, where there is almost nothing except faint, lingering rays of distant galaxies. This is the universe's quietest place, a darkness not frightening, but profoundly gentle, like the calm of the ocean on a windless night. Here, in this vast stillness, every thought dissolves. No past, no future, only the present moment, breathing softly. You feel your mind expanding, opening like a peaceful lake, letting tranquility fill even the smallest corners of your awareness. This is the destination of your meditation, where you recognize that you are held by the universe itself, within its endlessness. After a few deep breaths, a soft whisper rises inside you. You are safe. You are calm. You belong here. And slowly, the starship of your mind begins its return. You glimpse the Milky Way's glow again, then the vibrant nebulae, then the familiar planets, then Earth glowing deep blue in the night. Layer by layer, you return to your body. You feel yourself lying peacefully, wrapped in the warmth of your familiar room. Now you are fully back, yet carrying the lightness of a long, gentle journey. Let yourself savor this state. Allow your body to relax even more, your mind to soften even further. Everything from today has passed. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. All that exists now is you, and the soft rhythm of your own breathing. This is the perfect moment to sleep. Let sleep flow over you like cool, soothing water, drifting down gently and covering you from head to toe. And as you sink into rest, trust that the universe continues to watch over you. Its vast, quiet presence and the gentle shimmer of its stars keeping you safe through the night. After the gentle meditation of the previous section brings you back into that floating state between waking and sleep, a new question rises in your mind, like a small wave spreading across a still lake. When the mind has traveled so far, what remains in the heart for us to reflect on? And in that very moment, the universe seems to open a quiet space, an invitation to step into deeper meanings that only the softness of night is calm enough to reveal. Now imagine the world around you sinking into a tender darkness. The space of your bedroom blends with the infinite space beyond, as if the ceiling has become the sky, and the shadows between furniture have turned into slow-moving clouds. You are still lying where you are, and yet it feels as though you are resting beneath a peaceful canopy of stars. That stillness doesn't make you lonely. Instead, it feels like a gentle friend sitting beside you, patiently listening to thoughts you haven't yet spoken out loud. The vast universe always teaches us its first lesson: humility. When you look outward, to where galaxies spin like spirals of light, you understand that your own sense of self is smaller than a grain of dust, too tiny to measure. But that thought doesn't make you shrink. Instead, it feels like setting down a heavy backpack after a long day. The pressures you place on yourself, the difficult expectations, the mistakes you keep carrying, all of them dissolve into the vastness of space. If a galaxy can exist for tens of billions of years without caring about the tiny missteps of human life, then perhaps you can forgive yourself gently too. Sometimes all you need is to whisper, "It's okay." On the scale of the universe, this is so small. And from humility, we learn a second lesson: connection. When Earth becomes just a blue dot floating in darkness, every border, every division disappears. There are no nations, no groups, no real distances. All of us live on the same fragile speck, sharing a single home in a universe almost completely empty. Astronauts call this feeling the overview effect, a sudden, overwhelming awareness that all of humanity is one large family, though we often forget. Thinking about this softens the heart. You remember the ones you love, and even strangers you will never meet, all of them trying to live, trying to love, trying to find peace. In a cold universe, we are the warmth for one another. But then, a deeper question appears. If we are so small, what meaning does our existence hold? This is the third lesson, the most delicate one the universe teaches. The universe is vast, endless, silent, but it is that very silence that gives us the power to create our own meaning. The universe does not tell us why to live, we tell ourselves. A kind gesture, a warm glance, a word of encouragement you give to someone. These small moments are lights you create in the cosmic dark. They are like tiny stars, steady and persistent, adding to the beauty of the night, sky. And when you smile, when you love, when you keep going through difficulty, you are doing something no galaxy can do. You are giving the universe a chance to see itself through human eyes. That is what makes you important. Not in a grand way, but in a subtle way. You are a piece of the cosmic picture that would look different without you. Anyone who feels sad, anxious, or lost needs to hear this. You are not meaningless. You are not outside of life. You are an irreplaceable part of a great flowing story. The universe spent billions of years creating the atoms in your body, and billions more to shape them into life, and eventually into a person with consciousness. Your existence is not an accident. It is the beautiful result of the longest story ever told. If your mind feels heavy with something right now, place that feeling against the backdrop of the universe. You'll notice the weight lessening, not because it doesn't matter, but because you no longer need to hold it so tightly. Let it drift like a thin cloud passing across the face of the moon. You have the right to feel lighter. You have the right to be at peace. You have the right to be loved by others and by yourself. Now, as your reflections settle like a calm lake, you realize the universe never needed to answer every question. Its uncertainty is not frightening. It is an invitation to stay curious, to keep wondering, to continue living a colorful life. If you are still awake, let these thoughts be a small candle lighting your heart. If you are already drifting, let them fade into your sleep like a gentle lullaby. We have moved together through many layers of thought, and now it is time to relax completely, preparing to enter the final part, where soft goodbyes, light as mist, will guide you into your deepest rest. Hold on to this sense of calm the way you would hold a warm stone in your hand, letting its glow continue to spread through your soul. As the reflections on the meaning of existence in the previous section close gently like a door drifting into the dark, you may feel your soul settling, smooth and quiet, like a lake after the wind has calmed. And from that stillness, the journey slowly leads you to its final point, where the universe whispers a good night meant just for you. You have traveled so far. From the boundless silence, you crossed through stars, glided past luminous galaxies, visited nebulae shimmering like dreams woven from light. You stood before brilliant supernova explosions without fear, seeing only their fragile beauty against the deep night. You saw distant planets orbiting twin suns, beheld strange worlds humanity has only recently discovered. You hovered before black holes, realms of absolute darkness. Yet from a safe distance, you realized they are not only fearsome, but symbols of the mysteries that make the universe wondrous. You listened to the heartbeats of neutron stars, those steady radio pulses like the breath of the cosmos. You passed through dark matter and dark energy, two invisible forces shaping almost everything happening around us. You journeyed with humanity aboard Voyager, looked back at the pale blue dot bathed in sunlight, and felt your heart soften at the truth that we are small but deeply lovable. You heard stories of Stardust and learned that in every cell of your body, you carry the echo of ancient stars. You wondered whether we are alone, and then gently recognized that whether anyone else is out there or not, you are never truly alone. You traveled through your own mind, drifting past nebulae, leaving the Milky Way, and returning again to the steady rhythm of your breath. Now, all of those experiences have settled into your mind like a thin mist, light as stardust falling onto a still pond. And the final part of the journey is simply a soft embrace from the universe before you fall asleep. You may let the most beautiful images from the journey rise again in your mind. The Milky Way stretching like a silver scarf across the sky. A blue-purple nebula swirling gently like diluted ink dissolving into space. The surface of a distant planet where a violet sunset falls between 4 silent moons. And Earth, the tiny blue dot floating in a faint sunbeam. All of it now rests within you, like dreams neatly folded and tied with a ribbon of peace. You don't need to remember everything. Just let the softness of it drift into your breath. The universe wants to send you a few final words before you fall asleep. You have traveled so far tonight. You have witnessed wonders many people only imagine, and now you deserve to rest. Let your eyes close naturally, like a small star dimming as the universe sings it to sleep. There is no rush. There is nothing more to do. Only the rising tide of ease within you. A blessing is spoken, light as cosmic dust. Sleep well. May your dreams be deep, where the stars still shine on the night sky that belongs only to you. Let the universe guard your dreams, the way it has guarded everything for billions of years. You may feel safety unfold around you like invisible arms, not arms that tighten, but arms light as silk, reminding you that you are held by something larger than any worry. If you have felt tired, let tonight be the night you truly rest. If you have felt lost, remember that not only this earth, but the entire universe is your home. If you have felt small, remember that even stardust has its purpose in the grand design. And you, with everything you carry, are an irreplaceable part of that design. After this goodnight blessing, there is nothing left that needs to be said. The universe understands that sometimes silence is the most beautiful gift. Now, let everything grow quieter, like the distant echo of a dying star fading into a velvet sky. Let your body sink a little, then lighten, then dissolve like a drop of water merging into the ocean. No resisting, no holding on, just letting go. And if ever you wish to return to this journey, the universe will be here, its doors open gently, like an old friend. But for now, let sleep arrive in the softness of the dark. Let peace spread like the last warm glow after a faraway sunset. Sleep well, dream beautifully. Rest in the arms of the universe, vast, silent, and full of love. There's nothing more to say. It is time to give the rest to silence. And that silence will carry you into the deepest, kindest, most peaceful sleep of the night.